All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic is reporting that new Jets acquisition at the wide receiver position, Mike Williams, will probably be missing the start of training camp. How long? That's up in the air. We did know that this was going to be a question. This was going to be somewhat of, a concern going into training camp. And I mean, really, when the signing initially happened, we knew that there could potentially be some time missed. But again, we don't know for how long. So we're taking a look at the current state of the wide receiver room, the current state of really the boundary wide receiver position, right? Garrett's going to do his thing on one side, but then opposite of him, you kind of think that, okay, that job is going to be given right to Mike Williams. But if he's not good to go and he's missing time, and you're looking at a guy like Allen Lazard, who struggled obviously last year, he's struggling this year. I mean, it sucks to say it, but I think it's safe to say that the stock is down with Allen Lazard. At this point, it's trending downwards. Could that potentially change? I would like to say yeah, but I don't really have a lot of, confidence in that because he's been here for so long. I feel like if that switch was going to flip, we would have seen at least something positive in the early parts of, voluntary workouts and whatnot, even mandatory minicamp. But there hasn't been anything there, which, again, is super, super unfortunate because I liked Lazard back in college. I liked Lazard back at Green Bay. But, apparently his stock just continues to trend downwards. But, I am pulling for him, and hopefully the Jets can get something out of this signing here. But outside of Lazard, we're looking at Jason Brown-Lee. So if you put yourself in the shoes of Brown-Lee, you could be looking at a huge opportunity. You're already on good terms with Rodgers. Rodgers really likes Brownlee a lot. Supposedly Hackett likes Brownlee, and if Mike Williams isn't there and Lazard continues to struggle, I mean, he could, there's an opportunity there to pull away. It's not like he's buried on the depth chart, on one of these teams that have a stacked wide receiving core and has just no opportunity whatsoever to make noise, turn heads in practice. So if I am Brownlee, I'm really trying to jump on this opportunity here. I mean, it could be up for the taking, at least in the early portion of training camp. But if, in the event that Mike Williams needs more time away from training camp and cannot practice because he wasn't out there in voluntary OTAs running routes and catching passes, he certainly wasn't doing that in mandatory minicamp as well. And look, this goes for a couple other positions, Morgan Moses, AVT. There are a couple players that are currently banged up for the Jets, but again, we knew this going in. But I think the Mike Williams thing is such an interesting situation because, again, I think when Williams is healthy, he is going to be that number two. He's only on a 1-year contract that's heavily incentive based. I mean, it was a great deal for the New York Jets. One of the best signings of really the offseason, in my opinion. So the question for me really comes down to when. When is Mike Williams going to be good to go? Because let's face it, he's only finished a season one time in his career. Every other year, he's missed some amount of games with some sort of injury. So will that trend continue? Or when Mike Williams gets healthy, he stays healthy and he could just push on and roll through as the starting guy, a big play, explosive, big catch radius type of receiver that can really help in the deep parts of the passing game, which was frankly non-existent for the Jets a year ago. I think he would be a huge bonus for Aaron Rodgers, if you will. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.